Hello, Serge here from the backyard driving range. I want to talk today about a golf lesson I recently had with a first-time student, and after I got some information from him, age, how long he's been playing, and things of that sort, and what his issues are, he came out and told me that he basically was hitting a lot of slicers, and was really having issues with. One time he'd hit the ball chunky, and the next time he would hit it thin. And every now and then he got something pretty good in the middle. But for the most part, it was terribly bad directional problems and very poor ball striking from chunks to thins. I said, okay, well, let's take a look. So as you all know, I do my written analysis, and I explained that to him, what I was going to do and what I'm looking for. I gave him his target, and right from the very first swing, he was barely on the planet. He was about 50 to 60 yards right with a 7-iron, and which means his toe line alone was 20 yards plus right of the target, and basically every good shot he hit was, in baseball parlance, center field being here, left field being there, and right field being there. He was hitting everything out to way right field, right towards the foul line or more, and every now and then he got the zinger right out there, but for the most part, the majority of his divots were very chunky, very deep. And even when he hit the ball, if he caught the ball fairly solid, they tended to be chunky divots. And every now and then, bam, he'd get the thin one. And the thin one usually would start out right at the target and actually have some fade to it, even a slice when we got with the less lofted golf clubs. And he did complain about slicing the ball, but for the most part, he hit straight blocks, except with the thin ones. And why would that be? Well, when you're hitting a thin shot, in his case, he was coming through the ball, and even though he was aimed improperly to the right, he still managed to come through and turn the club up. Well, when you're turning the club face skyward, which is what I call under releasing, because your right hand is moving under the top hand, the left hand, it's moving skyward, which is opening up, giving it more loft, and consequently pulling the club inside. As you go skyward, you're pulling your arms in this way, and that's making the ball slide across the face more, so you can start it right, and then it'll have the curvature, the curve of the ball, the spin of the ball curving to the right, which will make it slice. Okay, so let's talk about what I saw in his setup. And after he hit all of these shots, and I asked him, I showed him what was wrong, and I said, well, tell me, what are you trying to do here? Describe to me what you think alignment is. All right, so I'm going to stand here, and I'm going to put this line down at the target, right? The target being the camera, all right? And then I'm going to have my parallel left line over here. He said to me, he said, well, I know the club face is supposed to be square to the target, aimed at the target, and I clarified that with the word square. Then he said, in his case, when I showed him his first setup, the club face was actually still right at the target, a little right at the target, but his feet were way right at the target, as you can see here. All right, and he had a disconnect of his torso in what I called crisscrossed. His feet were, say, over here, but his shoulders were quite open. But the shoulders were still at or slightly right at the target, but less right of it than the feet, but that still gave him the crisscross. So when he started again walking through his definition of alignment, he said, I want this at the target. So right off the bat, he recognizes his aiming line for his club face was way off. So I said, what do you want? And he corrected it right over here to the target, which was good. And very good right now, aimed at the camera. And so then I said, what about the feet line? And I said, as you remember, your feet were here and your shoulders were left. I said, what do we want? And he didn't really have a concept as to whether his feet, shoulders, all the way up should be in the same one. So I covered it. I said, we want the toes, the knees, the hips, the shoulders, and your eyes should all be parallel left. And his comment was, before I said that to him, was, well, I know the feet should be somewhere to the left, but I don't think that's anywhere near as important as the face being there. And that really resonated with me as to a real bad misconception about alignment. And again, I've heard that a few times, but I haven't been hearing it a lot lately. And so I went in and I discussed with him the fact that your feet are critically important, because in the end, once you start making a swing and you start your transfer, your weight transfer, your transition from the top of the backswing to the forward upswing, and you're shifting your weight from your back foot towards your forward foot, what's really happening here? Your weight's all your weight's driving from the right side to the left side, and your weight is shifting down, or as I like to call it sometimes, your knees are moving a little bit, keeping them flexed. They're rotating around your ankles, so it's all shifting down your ankles. And I like to many times say that your toes should stay covering, your knees should stay covering your toes, as compared to straightening up the left leg because you're turning too fast. Okay, so that is critical. If your toes aren't aimed parallel left, and conversely the rest of your body, then if you make any type of weight shift, it is not in the correct way to be able to pull your arms and clubs straight down so that they can swing straight through the target, i.e. like skipping a rock on a lake. So it's very critical that the body be parallel left. In fact, I just shot a new video called the Ultimate Alignment video, and I've been working on a number of things in this, and I brought out a couple new principles, and one of them is I really emphasize the importance of how the toes, knees, hips, shoulders, eyes must be parallel left, and how important it is to actually check and maybe run your line and make sure that they're left. All right? And so it's not enough to just have the face at the target, because in the end, even if you have the face square to the target, but all your shall we say your body lines are incorrect, and you start shifting your weight, your weight's going to shift, and your body is going to, so to speak, shift itself above what, in a way, above and connected to the ground by your feet with your ankles. So if your feet are in the wrong place and you make a good shift, you're just shifting more out there. Or if they're open too much, you're just shifting more to left field instead of right field. The point is we have to basically be shifting in a way that swings the arms, the shoulders and the arms of the club to center field. All right? So, which is right directly over your aiming line. So we have to make sure that our intended aiming line becomes our actual aiming line with toes, knees, hips, shoulders, and eyes parallel left if you're a right-hander and parallel right if you're a left-hander of your aiming line, so that your intended aiming line, your railroad tracks here, so to speak, the ball is on this track, the ball is on the outside track, you're on the inside track, that these lines are parallel all the way up. So the emphasis I want to place here is that it's not enough to focus just on the club face. You have to focus on your torso and make sure that everything in your body is parallel all the way up. Again, perfect feet with shoulders too closed or shoulders too open is still going to cause a big problem, because your body's crisscross. It's a power leak for one, and number two, it'll tend to, even when you shift your weight, it'll cause you to shift and shift a lot more out to the right if you're a right-hander with the shoulders too open. And your body will have a tendency to have a little bit of collapse in it because your upper and lower torsos are not big, so to speak, stacked in line, and vice versa. If my feet are square but my shoulders are open, I will tend to wrap around my body, turn too much, left leg will probably straighten and swing to the right, and then after that it opens up everything from pulls all the way to blocks, depending on how you try to compensate to start the ball from going left, come in with the face open, it can starting to open up, under releasing, and go right. So your torso is extremely, extremely important in proper alignment. It's not just focus on the club face and so to speak, everything seems to be okay with the body. Your body is critical in this situation, because in the end, the club moves because the body swings the arms and the hands to swing the club. So the body is an integral part of this. So it's a whole equation. Club face square, body parallel left for a lefty, parallel right for a righty. You have to have the whole equation. And we know alignment's important, because 90 to 95% of all swing problems arise out of alignment. So as I also say, alignment, alignment, alignment. Don't play golf without it. So play by the rules when it comes to alignment, and you'll start hitting it more solid, straight, and longer, and shooting those lower scores. That's it for the Surge for today, and I'll be talking to you all again soon.